Hey there everybody, it's Melanie with Lost and Found, and this is not the YouTube video that I planned on posting today, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm a little nervous about it. I'm really honest, I'm not quite sure how you guys are gonna take it, but if there is anything that I really feel passionate about with this channel, is just being real with you guys, because I'm a real human being, and you guys are a bunch of real human beings. And I don't have the energy, honestly, to be pretend and just to act like I'm something that I'm not. And so I really value authenticity. And so I want to be authentic and real as much as I can with you guys. So I decided that we're just going to share this. We're going to turn it into something good. And today's topic of this video is probably the ugliest YouTube comment that I've received. I got yesterday. And I have made the decision that I'm going to turn it into something good. That's what we're going to do with it. And so I'm going to explain that here in just a little bit. But there are kind of three things about this that I want to talk about. And I did try to actually do this as a live video. For whatever reason, it wasn't working live because I thought this would be a cool thing for us to chat back and forth about. But I couldn't get it to work live, so we're just going to record it and go with it anyway. But yeah, so here's what happened. All of the comments that come through on my videos, I have to approve them. And so I have to kind of go through and read all of them. And there was one that popped up yesterday morning, and it was on our recent thrift haul video, okay? So I'm gonna read to you guys what the comment said. I have it over here on my computer. And so here's what it said. It said, "You have the most ugly taste. Thank goodness we are all different. But just can't imagine the dregs of the world who buy these awful things from you to keep you making money. But I'm going to go check out your store just to be sure." And that was the comment. So my taste was insulted. You guys that shop with me were called the dregs of the world. And there's an assumption that I'm just here to make money off of you poor people, and that I must be kind of a terrible person to do that. So it's a pretty harsh comment. So here's the deal. When I get rude comments, I delete them. I don't let them go through. And that's not because like I don't want to deal with it. I already have to deal with it again. I have to read through all of them. It's because that's not what you guys are showing up for, right? Y'all aren't watching these videos to get all this negativity. Like we don't have time for that, right? And that's not what we're about here at Lost and Found. So if somebody leaves a comment that's just really hateful, which this is not the first, I've had some others, but this one is the worst. I just don't let it go through. And that's not like if somebody has a question or if they disagree with me, or that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if somebody's just like flat out mean. The comment just gets deleted because ain't nobody got time for that, all right? But here's what happened. This one really stung. Like this one, when I read it yesterday morning, it stung. And so I took a screenshot of it. I blacked out the person so nobody knew who it was. And I shared it with kind of a group of small business owners that I know. And by the end of the day, it had turned into what was probably just like, it just turned into this really funny thing. It was so ridiculous on so many levels that I was laughing about it. By the end of the day, so many of the other business owners, like we just got a good laugh about it because, and then we just had this whole dialogue about like, gosh, why do we have to do this in this online world? Like, why do we have to talk to people this way? And why do people think it's okay to talk to other people this way? And, somebody made a suggestion that I wound up, thinking was a great idea that we're going to act on. I'll explain it to you here in a minute. So all that to say, by the end of yesterday, I was kind of wishing that I'd approved the comment. So you guys would have a chance to dialogue with it. But then I was like, no, that everybody would have probably jumped on this person. I don't want that to happen. Anyway, but I decided that like, hey, I'm going to share it with you and let's have a little conversation about it. Okay. So there's three things quick that I want to say about it. And here's number one. I really am concerned with like the state of our culture that somebody thinks it's okay to write something that unkind to a total stranger. So like you would never just walk up to a stranger and say that. Like if I was in my booth space working, nobody would just walk right up to me and say that. Like I mean, you'd have to be not quite there, right? Some of them have to be off for you. Nobody would do that. Yet, over and over again, people think that that's okay to do on their computer. And y'all, it's the same thing. Like, it's not any different if you say it to somebody's face or if you say it over a comment or an email. You're still saying it. And here's what I think has happened. I think we've forgotten that there's a real human being on the other side of the screen. But y'all, there are, especially when you're dealing with small businesses. You're dealing with other real human beings, like people that are having stressors, people that are dealing with their kids, people that maybe their car broke down that day, people that maybe didn't get enough sleep, right? Like, you're dealing with a real human being. And so it bothers me and it concerns me that, like, we're okay with typing out on a keyboard and throwing out to a stranger something that we would never ever say to their face. Like, I really, really think that's a problem. And a friend said yesterday, as we were talking about this in this business group, they said, you know, we've really gotten this place in our culture where we treat other people transactionally. And I think that's true. Like, where it's just, you know, when we're out, especially with strangers and people that we don't know, a lot of times we're just kind of like, you exist to just kind of get me what I need or get me what I want, right? And so the kind of casual banter and chit chat that, you know, used to go on, like when I was a kid, I'd go with my mom to the grocery store and she'd be chatting with the person checking me out, you know, at the grocery store. Like, we're just not doing that. And especially since the pandemic started, we're not doing that as a culture. Like, we're not just casually interacting with people when we're out. Heck, some of us don't even know our neighbors and don't even go talk to our neighbors. Like, and just, I fear, like, as a culture, we're losing these just ability to kind of have these just casual conversations. And really what we're losing is just kind of the value of human community. Like, not to get too heady about this, but really, you know, like, it's nice to just be friendly and have a little friendly exchange with someone when you're checking out of the grocery store, right? Like, that's nice. And it makes you smile. It's nice to just smile and maybe have a chuckle or to have somebody be kind. And those little interactions that we're not having so much anymore as a culture because we just do everything over the computer. And then when we're out, we're not talking to anybody. Like, I think we're at a deficit of, like, positive human interaction. I really do. So, I've got just this personal mission that when I'm out and about, to try to just smile and look people in the eye and be friendly and say hi and, you know, strike up a little bit of conversation, comment them on their nice shoes that I like, whatever. Just to try to restore this kind of basic human interaction that I feel like we're losing as a culture. So that's thought number one, okay? Thought number two that I want to share is one of the things we do on this channel is I talk a lot to other small business owners, okay? And I'm a huge believer in using the power of social media to grow your small business. So you guys, February will be 10 years that Lost and Found has been in business. I've only really been active here on YouTube for the past like 8 months, other than just throwing some videos on. So I'm pretty new to here, but I'm not new to social media in general. And I'm not new to getting unkind comments from people. I've got a lot of them on my blog. I get emails from customers that are unkind. I've gotten several on Facebook. I get them on Instagram. I will say that thus far, probably the worst have come here on YouTube. So here's what I want to tell you small business owner watching this, who maybe you're starting out and you're trying to use your social media, or you content creator. You're going to get ugly people saying things to you. Like, you're going to get things that are said that are just mean and just aren't kind. It's going to happen. It comes with the territory. And that's not a like, oh, boo-hoo, feel sad for us. Like, you know, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, you just need to expect it, okay? The first one you get is really going to hurt. And it's going to, like, oh, maybe I did something wrong. 9 times out of 10, you did nothing wrong. You just, like, it's with the other person, okay? So you're going to get them, and the more your business grows and your reach grows, the more of them you're going to get. All right. So they increase exponentially with the larger your reach is. So just be prepared for that. And now, before they start coming, here's what I want to challenge you with. I want to challenge you to two things. One, you're not going to let those ugly comments like get more of your emotional energy than they need, because they just don't. Like, take a minute and think, okay, is there something here that I did? Like, do I need to address that? Do I need to apologize for something I said or did? Or is this just, out of left field? And if it's out of left field, if you can think through it and feel like you don't have any guilt in the situation, you didn't do anything wrong, then you just got to let it go. You cannot dwell on it. You can't let it bother you, and you can't let it keep you from making that next post, video, tutorial, whatever you're going to do. You can't let it stop you, okay? And then second, I want to challenge you to respond better. So in my experience, especially when I'm working with customers over email, customers from my online store, like, I get an email that is really frustrated, and if I can respond back with kind of an overwhelming kindness, then it just diffuses the tension. And then usually the next email I get back it's better and it's kinder, and we can kind of resolve it, okay? So when you start to get these, please don't get down in the mud and start fighting with these people. Please don't. That's one reason also why I didn't approve the comment, because then all of you people would know this person's name, and I kind of figured a bunch of you guys would jump on them. And I didn't, again, we don't need that going on. We don't need that energy. So like, make it your mission that when you get these unkind comments, you can either just ignore them, because sometimes like there's no need to respond. You just delete it, ignore it, and walk away. Or if you're going to respond, then respond with overwhelming kindness. Like, that is how I think we're going to win in these situations, is if we can model back to people, look, this is not an okay way to talk to someone. I'm going to show you what is an okay way to talk to someone. And it diffuses the situation, because like, what I truly believe is that if you guys have heard the phrase like hurt people, right? Most of the time, the people that are making ugly and unkind comments, they've got something going on themselves, right? It's like what I told my kids all the time. If there's a kid picking on them at school, I'm like, look, it's not right what that kid is doing to you, and you don't have to like it, and you don't have to be okay with it. But remember this, there's a good chance that that kid is being picked on himself. Or maybe his parents are going through divorce, or maybe his big brother is giving him a hard time, or there's probably something that kid is going through, and he's taking it out on you. And so you don't have to like what he's doing, but remember that and have compassion on him, because that's probably what's going on. And I really think that's the situation with a lot of people that kind of spout out this unkind stuff, that they have something going on. And so we can show them compassion, because maybe they just had something, really upsetting happen in their life, and you just were the person on the other end of the computer that got it out. And so let's respond to them with compassion. Don't let it bother you, and respond with compassion. And then number 3, I don't know person who made the comment, if you're watching this video. If you are watching this video, here's what I want to say to you. Please, before you type up something that is unkind again, I would really encourage you to take 10 seconds before you hit that enter or send button. Take a few deep breaths, and then decide if you really still want to say that. I think that's a skill that you could benefit from. And I think that you will find there's probably a lot that you don't need to send to people. If you're watching this, I will say here, I don't know what is going on with you. I don't know why you felt the need to insult me and my customers to such a great degree, but I'm going to respond with compassion, and whatever it is, like, I hope that it's okay. I hope that it gets better. I hope that you can find some things that you really do enjoy, and that you can find some things in your life that are really going to fill you up. So please know, hear from me, you are welcome in this community. We're glad to have you. You are also, if you don't want to be in this community, then that is great too. But if you decide that you want to be a part of what we're doing here at Lost and Found, you're welcome here. We're glad to have you. But it's not okay to say the kind of things that were said. It's just not. So those are my 3 thoughts. Okay. Now here's what we're going to wrap up real quick. And I know this is a weird video. And so thanks for hanging with me in it. It was the dregs of the world comment that really kind of made everybody chuckle yesterday. And somebody said, somebody was like, well, that makes me a dreg of the world because I love your stuff and I shop with you. And then somebody else was like, you should make a t-shirt. And so these things kind of combined. And so that's what we did. I have made 2 t-shirts in my online store, 2 t-shirts that say dregs of the world unite. There's one that's white, that's a little more girly, and there's a gray one that's a little more masculine. Because we're just going to take this and we're just going to, it's so crazy and just kind of ridiculous that we're just going to have a laugh about it, right? So if you want to own your dregs of the world status because you're one of my customers, then we've got these t-shirts for you. And here's the really, really cool thing. All the profit from the t-shirts, which is about $8 to $10 once shipping is factored in, and what they charge me for the shirts, all the profit for the shirts, I'm taking and I'm donating to the Sail Ranch Animal Rescue in Temecula, California. Because here's the deal. There really are some people that are the dregs of the world. I think we could all agree with that. If we think about who may actually be the dregs of the world, we could probably come up with some things and people that would fit in there. One of the things in our world that makes me so sad and heartbroken is to think about abused and neglected animals. Y'all, I can't even watch Benji. I just lose it. I can't handle it. My husband tried to have me watch War Horse one time. It was a disaster. I just I can't handle it. And so, I hunted around for a small charity because, I think I like giving gifts to small charities because you can really know that it's really making a difference. And so I hunted around for a small charity that looked like it was really making a difference. And I found this place in California. And what they do is they rescue animals that have been in the farming industry, but that for various reasons have been neglected, are past their prime and they're not being used anymore and they're just about to be euthanized. And they bring them to this ranch and they rehabilitate them and they give them a place to kind of live out the rest of their time. So they have a lot of dairy cows. They have some old horses that are working horses that got too old to work and they were just kind of abandoned. They do have goats and they've got a couple dogs, and basically they are just a functioning animal rescue. And I was reading on their website and they're talking about, they get calls every week for animals that have just been abandoned. And because of funding, they kind of have to pick and choose what they're going to take. So I would love to be able to send them some funds to continue the awesome work that they're doing. And here's what I really, really like is that they have a program where they're bringing kids who have gone through traumatic and abusive situations to come work on the ranch and have these experiences with these animals. So then it's providing some healing for these kids and these animals. And I just think it sounds just like a really great place. They are on YouTube. I've linked to their channel. So you can go check them out on YouTube. And then I've linked to my online store where the t-shirts are. So now if you just want to skip the t-shirt and you just want to go give straight to them, that's great too. But that's what we're doing. We're going to sell these t-shirts. And if you want one, then you can order it from my online store. They are printed on demand. And so what's going to happen is when you order it, it'll go and it'll get printed and then it'll get sent to you. Sometimes it can take 10 to 14 days, depending upon where you live in the US. They will ship free if you only buy t-shirts. If you buy a t-shirt, but then you also add into your cart some paint or a transfer or something, one of my vintage finds, then it's going to start charging you shipping because all of those other things don't ship for free. Okay. So if you want to enjoy the free shipping on the t-shirt, just buy the t-shirt by itself, then you can come back and shop for some other stuff later. That's how that's going to work. And then again, the proceeds of the profits, I will tally them up, you know, at the end of every month or however long this lasts, and we'll send them out to this organization. So that's what we're doing. So thanks for letting me share that today. I do have another video planned for this week that hopefully I'll have out by Thursday or Friday. This one was unplanned, but I thought it was something worth sharing and worth taking a few minutes to talk about. And I just got excited about, you know, let's turn lemons into lemonade. Like, let's take something that is just yucky and let's try to make it into something that's great. And so that's what we're doing. And I hope that I don't know, I hope maybe you've learned something from watching this. I hope that maybe you've been encouraged and inspired to try to offer an extra smile to someone, you know, when you're out, or maybe the next time you know, guys, because I do it too. Like, if I am emailing, you know, a help desk somewhere, like I just kind of, you know, fire it off, forgetting that there's another person over there. And so just maybe that we can all just remember that we're talking to a real human on the other side of the screen. And, you know, each time one of us does that, then we can make somebody else's day better. So that's it. That's all I have today. Hopefully I'll see you guys back in just a couple days, and everybody have a great rest of the day. Go check out all that information down in the video description. Bye.